So then it was the 9th of October. However, on the 8th of October, I'd been over at the officers' hooch, and we all associated with each other. We were laughing and bullshitting at night and drinking beers. And I just had this overwhelming feeling I was going to get shot down. I really did. It was like a premonition. It was like, I'm going down tomorrow. And everybody's laughing. Oh man, Vertigo, don't talk like that. I go, no, no, no. I said, it's okay. I said, I know I'm going down tomorrow. Because we were talking about the human force. We were talking about how bad of an area it was. That didn't bother me. I'd already been to, that was something else. I'd already been to the human. So it wasn't that it scared me. I knew it was down there. But I just had this feeling I was going down, strong feeling. And we laughed all night long, bullshitted. So I ended up back to the hooch and going to bed that night. And I remember talking to one of the other scouts, Lovell. He's out. He said, what are you doing? I said, oh, Lovell, I'm going down tomorrow. He says, oh, man. He says, why are you talking like this? Because that's what's happening. So in the morning when I was getting all my chicken plate and my weapon and my ammo and everything together, I had flown with my camera, an Instamatic camera, a few days before. So I went to go get my camera, and I thought, and I also had a Yashica Electra 35. And I went to get the Instamatic, and I thought, I'm going to take the Yashica. And then I thought, I'm going to get shot down. Why am I taking this good camera with me? But I took it anyway. And I had some good pictures, but I never got my camera back. But got out to the flight line. I even told White that morning before we took off, I says, I know you heard that I was talking last night that I got a feeling we could get shot down today. He goes, yeah. I said, sure you want to go? He goes, get the fuck in the helicopter. He says, we're going. Come on. So we got in and we took off down to the UMIN. When we got there, which was unusual, was usually we'd sit down and take a break for a little while before we take off. It was still kind of dark, and the sun was just getting ready to come up. We'd leave when it was dark. And then all of a sudden I see them going like this, and it's like, wow, we're going. Let's go. Crank them up, buddy. Let's go. So we jumped in and getting ready for it. We took off, and it was amazing that day because just the things we were running into. Little village along a little creek or canal or whatever it was. I started burning everything, anything and everything. I was dropping incendiaries on anything and burning. Burning up a whole little town and village. Spotted a bunker of trees coming out in a bunker area. I marked that. It got blown up. I came back over and there were bodies in there, and I ended up shooting all the bodies on that. We had 11 kills going that morning. I believe that White and I we were getting credit for them, even though I think the Cobras should have gotten a little bit of credit, but we took credit for their kills. And that's just how it was. And then I burned this really, really nice hooch down. It had a porch. It had an overhang on it with poles, a little fencing in front. It was real nice. Somebody was big that owned that puppy down there. That's for sure. I started that thing on fire, and then all of a sudden the old man said, he says, we got some smoke over here. He says, come on this way, because they were up high and they could see further than we could. So we flew over to the area where there was some grass and there was smoke coming out of the ground and out of the grass area. And I'm looking at this, and I thought, well, the first thing I'm going to do is drop a 79 round down there, which I did right away. And then out of my right eye, I caught it. There was a flash. And all of a sudden we started shaking. I'm like, whoa, we got hit. And then there was another impact. And I remember that, crazy as it was, well, it made more sense. And my thought was, I don't want to shoot back, and maybe they'll stop shooting at us because I knew we were so vulnerable. It's like we're up in the air, we're shaking, something's going bad. And I'm like thinking, maybe if I don't shoot at them. And then all of a sudden we kind of nosed in and started to do a little spiral and going down, because we weren't down low at the time. We were up kind of high. And I remember then praying again to God, saying, God, I don't know if I can ask you twice, but please get me out of this. Somehow, we'll break even. I didn't say somehow we'll break even. I just somehow, please get me out of this. I don't want to die. And I remember crashing, and we were trapped underwater. And I was having trouble holding my breath and stuff. And then I said, dear God, please help me. And my hand went to my safety belt release, and it released. And I come up, and I was like spitting out water. I had taken a side hit to my chest protector, my armored chest protector. So I was like having a problem breathing anyway, because this had just hit me in the chest, but it didn't. Lucky it didn't hit me direct. It must hit me on an angle because it broke it. But it was like I could feel the pain in my chest. and I was trying to get out. I could feel White trying to get out of there. We both kind of got White got out, then I kind of climbed out. Rounds were going. All I could hear was shoo, 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 shoo. You can hear ping, ping, ching, ping, ching, every which way. And then I looked up, and there was the other ship came in close. A guy named Lindbergh, Frank Lindbergh. He got out of the ship, and he came over and he helped me with White, and he pulled White, got White into the ship, and then I kind of he helped me into the ship, and I'm like, come on, everything go ping, 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 and Lindbergh's still standing there making sure we're in the ship. Big balls. And then he got in, and we started to take off. But as we started to take off, this time we had a little bit too much weight. We weren't getting out of there. We were low level because of our weight. And meantime, they were shooting at us from every which way. Okay, and I could see them. I could see them right into the tree line, and they were doing bang, bang like this with an old action. I'm watching him, and he's looking at me, and I'm looking our way. And I know eyeball to eyeball, but yeah. And then eventually the chopper started to lift up, and then that's when I felt the sense of relief that we're going to get out of here. And then we got back to a staging area where we were. And I pretty much I vaguely remember it, but I remember just screaming at everybody, not wanting anybody to go back there. There were just too many of them. And screaming at they had Arvins that were there, and screaming at them. And I grabbed somebody's 16 and I pointed it at the Arvins, and I wanted them to get a piece of peace. It was PCP. No, not PCP, PSP. It was a piece of steel that they would corrugated steel that they could make runways with. And I was yelling at them to pick it up. I wanted them to get White on a stretcher. And there was a hospital right there. So I don't remember what happened because I was really getting phasey. I just barely remembered that. But they took us right there to this little hospital right there. It was more like a Vietnamese something or another, but there was an American doctor there. And he got White on an IV. And I remember looking over at White. There were flies all over his kneecap. Bone was sticking out. And I kept screaming at the doctor to get him out of pain. I'll kill you. And the Vietnamese were looking there were no glass windows. They were just open. So they were all looking at us. And I was pretty much just screaming. I remember just screaming at everybody. And I'm pretty sure the doctor was fed up with that kind of behavior. Me telling him I wanted to kill him. And because he had an IV in me, and then he put something in boom, I was whacked. I was out. Mm-hmm. So they took us to Ben Toohey Hospital, and that's where we went.
And White made it?
Yeah, White did, and I had shrapnel up. I eventually got another nickname. It was called Shrapnel Ass, because I caught shrapnel up and down my ass, from where it was blowing up everywhere. And White we were both in a hospital, and about 3 days later, they took White. He went to Japan, and that pretty much freaked me out. When White was gone, I think it was the next night I at the time didn't know what it was. Today I understand exactly what it was. I had a massive panic attack. It was late at night. I started to really get massive anxiety and panickiness. I literally, because of the medications, I literally was hallucinating. I started seeing the word death. I started seeing dead Viet Cong, skeletons, and I'm like really freaking out over this. I'm screaming, yelling for the doctors, and nurse come over. What's the matter? I said, I'm dying. They're like, what? They got blood pressure on me, and they don't know what's going on, and I'm, I feel like I'm dying. I don't think they gave me anything, but they might have. I remember in the morning when I woke up, though, I wasn't really materializing everything around me. I was there, but things just didn't feel materialized. It couldn't concrete. There was nothing there. I was detached from things. And I knew I was mentally in trouble at that point. And when I talked to the doctor, came around, I go, I got to see somebody. Something's wrong with me. So they eventually, a day or two later, sent me up. They put you on these big transport planes that flew me up to Long Bend. And I went to a hospital, third surge up there. They put me in a psychiatric ward up there.
A customer returned his knife because he missed our buy two, get two free deal, losing out